As the days count down until President Obama's ultimate decision on whether to approve the Keystone XL pipeline, the fight is heating up. People on the front lines of Keystone know that what's at stake is almost too big to imagine.
The media often reduce the issue to a he said, she said difference of opinion. But deeper analysis of the evidence shows that big oil and its cheerleaders in Congress are not giving the American public a straight story.
It's really unfortunate that TransCanada has lied repeatedly for years. And what's even more dismaying is that when they've put out a number that's patently false, we've seen some of those numbers repeated in newspapers across the country as if they're facts rather than the lies that they are.
The truth has slowly come out about the risks and hazards of the pipeline, seeping out like uncontrolled oil leaks in the Canadian wilderness. The energy and water-intensive process of getting the bitumen out of the ground is just the first ugly step.
It's called the tar sands. It's a thick, sticky substance, a tar-like substance. It's very difficult to get out of the ground. It's literally mined in an open-cast mine with giant shovels and trucks, and then washed out of the soil, out of the sand and clay.
The waste materials from the extraction and separation process, called tailings, is dumped in pits so large they can be seen from space.
I saw firsthand these retaining ponds, and the area that I was standing at, it extended beyond the horizon. It was like I was standing at the edge of the ocean, except this was not an ocean. This was a contaminated body of water.
The level of immediate destruction, from pristine wilderness to industrial wasteland, is unprecedented in human history.
Producing tar sands, the industry is interested in strip mining an area the size of Florida. And unfortunately, this area where they want to strip mine is one of the most ecologically important areas in North America.
I was just up there this summer to look at the tar sands complex, and the technical name, I think, for what was going on up there is Mordor. It is unbelievable. You just can't imagine how gruesome it is.
On the other end, in Port Arthur, Texas, the devastation has been happening for generations, trapping poor people in a deadly spiral of poverty and disease.
Oftentimes, frontline communities, which tend to be low-income and minority communities, are left out of the conversation, ignored, and they bear the brunt. You hear this term sacrifice zones.
A lot of the kids cannot play outside because of respiratory problems, or they come outside for a little while and then their mothers will notice their eyes starting to swell. A lot of volatile organic compounds are escaping from that flare. These are the kind of things that we have to deal with.
Once the carbon trapped in the tar sands is converted to oil and burned as fuel, the impact on global warming and weather extremes is essentially unfathomable.
We've destabilized the planet's climate system, and the only question is how much farther we're going to go. What we call civilization will just be a big disaster response operation.
Despite the fact the world's climate scientists are virtually unanimous in agreement that the planet is getting hotter and humans are responsible, and as NASA climatologist James Hansen famously said, tar sands exploitation would mean game over for the climate, some climate deniers claim it's all a hoax and we should trust big oil.
I think there's been a fair amount of scaremongering that says that the only way we can address climate change is through drastic action that is going to increase everybody's electricity bills.
As global temperatures steadily increase and extreme weather events become more frequent, the fight against big oil's big lies on Keystone XL may literally be the fight of our lives.